Alright, hello! Welcome back to our YouTube channel. We are going to be drawing in Procreate again. Today we're going to be drawing a dog, and in this case, I thought a German Shepherd might be nice. I think it's a little bit out of frame here. Hold on. Alright, there we go. Okay, I think we're good. Let me know if you can hear me, if the music's good. We're going to go ahead and get started. As you can see here, I have all my other drawings. I love dogs. I love drawing dogs. It's what I grew up drawing as a kid, so naturally, I'm drawing them now into adulthood. So we're going to go ahead and press the plus sign up here, make a new canvas. I think we'll do square. I usually like having my canvas be a square because it's easy to upload to social media. And it's just a nice size in my opinion. I'm just gonna make this a little bit bigger. All right, there we go. So that looks pretty good here. All right, there we go. So we have our reference image here on the left. I wanted to get something with an expression. This dog looks happy. He's looking at something. We're gonna go ahead and get a gray color here for the sketch. I like to go back here into the sketching area, get a 6B pencil, and there we can kind of do some nice sketching. We're on a new layer. Background for now is white. Just makes it a little bit easier to work with. I really quickly just want to increase my... Is it working? Okay, there we go. Increase the screen brightness just so I can see a little bit better. Okay. Alright, so I'm looking at the dog that we have here, and first I'm just going to start sketching the shape of his head. I always start with a circle. That's just how I grew up drawing. I've always done that, and then started to kind of outline where this eye is. I'll kind of look at his snout. I have the picture up here and also here, so I'm kind of going back and forth as to where I'm looking. And we're also going to make it kind of more of a flat style, maybe a little bit more cartoony. So we're not getting really into the details of the fur. We can go into that a little bit. But for now, we're just going to kind of get the basic shape. I kind of make the shape of the neck here. Alright. And his mouth is kind of coming out like that. And I work on all parts of him kind of at once. Just wanna look here. Okay. There we go. Draw the snout. It's kind of a little bit rounded right there, right before his nose. His nose is kind of this pointed shape here on the corner. And here's his nostril. And it comes out like that. Maybe a little bit too far out, so we'll just kind of erase it. Come back. And this part, I think, is a little bit too far up, so I'm going to... Yeah, I think my proportions are wrong right off the bat, but that's okay, because this is the sketch, and mistakes can be made. And it's totally okay to do so. It's all a learning process here. What I might even do, because I think I made his nose a bit too big, and I don't feel like redrawing it, I just kind of go over to this little S, I think it stands for selection, and then you just draw around it, make sure you connect it. Go back up to this arrow, and it kind of in Photoshop, for example, in Photoshop, it's similar to the transform tool. Want to make sure you're on uniform, not freeform, and just kind of make it a little bit smaller. And I think that is much better. So it's going to look a little bit weird, but this is his open mouth. I'm going to connect it like that. That just looks a little strange. If it ends up being like too complicated, I'll just erase it and I'll just make his mouth close. That might be easier. But for now, this kind of overlaps like that. So I want to also go here where his tongue comes out. So it kind of comes out right between this point here and like this. So you just want to make sure you're in between those areas. His tongue kind of comes out like that. It comes down like that. And there's like a little canine tooth right here. I'll just draw that in. Just kind of erase that. And I'm just looking just to make sure that I have kind of his proportions right. So he has the bottom part of his mouth down here. So now it's starting to look a little bit more like an animal. So look at this coming out here. And there's a lot of parts to his mouth right now. So for example, his teeth kind of are actually on this line, not this one. So I'm just gonna, just draw some like pretend teeth right there. And this part is like all black. Okay, his mouth, like that. And again, this is just the sketch phase. I know it looks a little cray, but we'll get there. And snout, also black, right here. And this is where the cool part of the sketching pencil comes in handy, because you just kind of take your pencil, Apple Pencil, and tilt it. You can kind of get this cool like shading effect. Okay. I still feel like his nose is kind of big, but we'll work with it for now. For some reason, that little like circle just looked like his eye, and it kind of threw me off a bit. Alright, so I just want to kind of look at where his fur is lining up. It's kind of like that. He's got like some fur here, some fur there. This kind of comes out a little bit further. He's got his eye here, and then there's an eye here. I'm going to draw the top of his head. And we want to make sure that this part of his head connects to the back, so I'm just kind of drawing these thick lines just to kind of see what I'm doing. Okay. And he looks silly because he has no ears, but we'll get there. And his eye is still a little bit. This image looking here. Just draw his eye right there. And give him a little shine. That's usually what I do. Going back down his mouth here. Alright. And now his ear. So I didn't give him enough room. I didn't give myself enough room for the ear. So I'm gonna select everything, make it a little bit smaller. And now I'm going to draw his ears. And they're fairly triangular in shape. A little bit. Kind of rounded here. I'm going to erase some of this just so you can see. Sometimes what I do is like I draw the base of it right here. I just kind of do a line. Like, okay, kind of curves up here. that's where I want to start this part of it. Okay. And there's also like a lip here, so we kind of want to account for that. A little too big. Okay. Just outlining a little bit of it. And then there's some like hair. And then this ear starts right here, kind of connecting to this other one. At least it looks like it. I'm going to bring that up. We don't want to go too far up because that'll look weird. Kind of just want to match where that is. Okay. Like so. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So this kind of looks like a 3D kind of effect. You know, it's definitely more of like a 3/4 angle. It's not directly like this. It's more like that. You know the difference. So we're kind of getting this middle part of his forehead right here. So that's just kind of what we're depicting here with this black spot that he has. And he has some black here. He kind of this black around his eye. A little dot right there. Little like eyebrows, kind of. See what other details I can give him. Okay, so that's a basic sketch. I feel like this part doesn't look like that. So I'm just gonna bring it down a little bit more. Okay. So that's our sketch. I actually kind of like how it looks. I don't really want to. I'm like, oh, I don't want to mess it up by adding color, but that's okay. So I'm going to lower the opacity. We're also going to drag the sketch layer up, and we're going to change it to multiply. The first one. All right, and then we're on a new layer here anyway. So what we're going to do next is grab like a brown, kind of goldeny color for his fur. Something more like, maybe that one. See what that looks like. Yeah, we can get down with that. I'm gonna go back to inking. Get our studio pen, which is my favorite. And now we are going to just draw this basic shape. And as you can see, you can still see the sketch layer. That's what we did with the multiply layer. I'm just gonna make a little bit of this opaque. I may have gone a little bit too detailed in the sketch, but you know, for what we're doing, this is going to be a little bit more simple than what I did in the sketch, but that's okay. Alright, that's gonna look kind of silly. Cool. Alright, let's do the tongue next because I just feel like it looks kind of silly. And I want this layer to be underneath, like so. And we're just gonna fill this whole part in pink because we're just gonna layer elements right on top. Okay, there's his tongue. I'm gonna get a little bit of a darker pink, and I am going to draw this part. And you know, we're simplifying all of these sorts of layers, like I said. All right, and now we're going to do another layer, and we're going to make his teeth. Nice white. Just see what that looks like. I'm just going to draw the bottom line here first. And I just want to turn my sketch off just to see what I'm doing. I'm going to come back down to this layer and get that pink again because you kind of see part of this tongue like that. And we'll come back and refine this. It doesn't have to be perfect right away. Just kind of get the base down. All right, next we're going to draw the dark parts of his face. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to make this a clipping mask. Okay, and I'm going to get like a dark brown black color. Maybe I should make it black. Okay. And so what the clipping mask does is you draw within what's of the layer underneath it. I don't know if that made much sense. But for example, this arrow indicates that it's a clipping mask. So for example, if I didn't have that selected, it would be just a normal layer. But I don't want to ruin what's on this base brown layer. I want to draw within that, but not destroy it. So that's why I have a clipping mask. Hopefully that made sense. So I'm going to kind of draw his features here. And we'll come back to his nose. We'll probably draw it with like a gray kind of color. I think I made this a little bit too thick, but it's okay. You might even do is kind of draw, actually drawing in the wrong direction. It's more like that. Maybe I'll take the eraser and just kind of, just so it's not that harsh. All right, we'll stick with that for now and we'll come back to it. Let's draw his nose. So let's get a black color. You know, it's a little bit more gray. So let's just see what that ends up looking like. That actually might be okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom in to this nose here. I can't really see it. Okay. I'm gonna draw on it, and I'm gonna take black here, kind of draw that line. What's happening here? Alright, something like that, and then we'll do the highlight after, but I'm kind of just making these like shadows with the colors here. Okay, next we can draw his eye, probably. That's probably what we want to do next. I just want to see what we're looking at here. Alright, cool. So for his eye, it's a dark brown, so I probably want to stick to, I don't know if I should have made this a brown. Maybe I'll change it. Like a gray. Okay. I'm gonna go back to this color here. This part will be a little bit tricky, but I'll make it work. I'm gonna draw his eye here. First thing I want to do is I want to fill this in with white. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to like a brown color, and I'm going to fill this part in like that. Okay. I went a little bit too far here. Okay. And then, so this is the color of his eye. You can't really see it, but I'm drawing his pupil right there. And then I'm going to go back to the white, and I'm going to kind of draw a little highlight right in there. There's his eye, and I'm gonna go back to this, and I'm gonna start to draw these parts right here. So I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna I'm gonna use just, I'm just gonna kind of draw all these lines just to kind of get that fur effect, without going too in depth of detail. Okay. And then right up here, do the same thing. I think I made that eyebrow a little bit too big, so I'm gonna come back and roll some of it. Better. And we're still on the clipping mask, so that's good. Sorry, there was water on my screen, so it like swiped everything away. We're gonna come back here, and we're gonna start to flesh out this part of his eye. It's kind of like black right there. And then he also has a little bit of an eyelash coming out, so I'm just gonna make a new layer, and I'm going to depict that here. So it kind of looks like his other eye. Yeah, kind of do a little more detail right there. Okay. Alright, now, and what I'll do is I'll get a mid-tone between this darker color and this light cream color, and I'll kind of mesh the two together just so it looks a little bit more natural. For his ear, I'm just going to kind of outline it. I'm going to try to get back to this right here. Okay, so he's kind of got like, oh, what layer am I on? No, weird layer. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this one. I'm going to outline like that. And this is okay if it gets a little bit more messy, because we're just drawing just what we see here. And we're also following the sketch that we did, so that's why that was super helpful. So now we're able to kind of get these little fur patches going and make it look a little bit more dog-like. Okay. Just kind of got a line coming down here, and right there. Cool. So what I'm gonna do is I want to kind of be done with this. Oh no! Oh no! All right, with this dark color, because I want to start doing the other colors of his fur. So he does have like some black right here, so I'm just gonna kind of fill that in. I'll even do a new layer, and I'm going to kind of paint out some fur like that. Okay. Same with this. I'm gonna go back to this layer, make it a little smaller, paint it out. Like that. Look at his ear. Alright. Alright, so let's see how I want to do this. I want to get like a darker color like that, because I'm going to do a new layer, and it's also going to be a clipping mask like that. So now we're going to color in these parts of his ears. Kind of get some depth going on. By our previous sketch, I'm just looking at where his fur falls and like how it's flowing. It's kind of coming back over here like that. Let's see what this looks like. Right. Come back over here to this ear. Kind of get that a little bit darker. And I also want to come back here. And again, this is just my kind of interpretation of this dog, and it's just kind of how I want to draw his fur out, a little bit expressive. I'm going to come back here with a darker color. So I'm going to go back to this layer and draw this part. And definitely has some more black right here. Remember before I said I wasn't going to get too detailed, but now I'm definitely getting there. Alright, the other thing I want to do is I'm going to take this color, make it a little bit lighter, and just kind of go over these pieces here, like so. I'm just being kind of messy now because I'm liking that look for this. I just think it looks kind of cool. Just be a little expressive. You know, nothing wrong with that. Back up here a little bit, do something like that. I'm on the wrong layer. Messed that up, but that's okay. I'll come back up here. And now I want to go back to this pink because I want to put a little bit of pink in his ear. I'm going to kind of get like a grayish pink. That's too gray, I think. No. That looks weird. Alright, something like that. I'm gonna go to this layer. I'm going to do another clipping mask because that's my favorite. I'm going to just fill this in because this clipping mask is underneath all this darker grays that we put on top. It's gonna be, you're gonna have a much easier time painting that in. That. And I'm going to take a lighter pink and I'm going to start painting some of these like hairs that you see. come back with a darker pink and even a little bit more. Okay, now we're going to take the same color pink, go back to his tongue, and we're going to kind of flush this part out a little bit more. I want to come back here and just take that part, come back, and just kind of detail it a little bit. I don't know what I'm just gonna line for his tongue. I'm going to take off the sketch layer, just kind of see what we're looking at here. Oh, I see where I messed up. There should be more brown here, so I'm going to come here and I'm going to erase some of this. I'm also going to erase some of this. Add more black here, it's missing some. I feel like this part of this head is a little bit too rounded. I'm just going to square that off a little bit like that. I would like to add some highlights to his nose and tongue. So I'm just going to make a new layer and I'm going to draw highlight there, like that, and then hide notifications. And then I want to add highlight to his tongue too. Maybe just erase. You kind of mess it up. I just squint my eyes just to see what I'm doing. Oh, you know what? I totally messed it up. See, this is okay. It's okay because I messed up his head shape. You kind of like step back from it. You kind of look at it. This part should really be like that. Because I made it too bulgy up here. Like, I'll show you for example. I made it too rounded like that, but really I want it to be like that. So, I'm just going to color back in here. Kind of looks a little better now. Okay. I think we're almost done here. I might come back to this color and take it and just kind of give a little bit of a shadow here. Maybe it's a little bit bigger, you know. So that way the light color kind of becomes more of a highlight. Yeah, it's a little bit better. And I'm just taking my pencil, I'm just kind of drawing these strokes. I don't think it matters to be too perfect with it. Okay, so I'm starting to like that. Last thing I want to do is grab all of these layers. I'm going to make it a group. See, that's the group. I'm going to center it. And I want to draw, well, not draw, but I want to color in the background. Okay. So, go back to our layers. This is that layer, this is the sketch. Click on background color, and now we can kind of look and see what color we would like to make it. Kind of like the light pink. I think that looks cute. Something like that. And I want to hide this because I don't want to look at the sketch anymore, or the reference image anymore. I want to see the drawing for what it is. So, I'm just gonna kind of look at it, see if I'm missing anything. I could definitely go to town with the fur. I can go back in, I can do more highlights. For example, I can take this color, make it a little bit lighter, make a new layer, and do some more highlights with it. Actually, that's good. Not too shabby. Like that. Just in one area, you know, you don't want to go overkill with it. Need some more. Okay. I could also go in, make a new layer, maybe put it underneath, and do some more shadowing. Like so. It's funny, I remember I specifically said I wasn't going to go into detail with the fur, but here we are, so that's okay. Alright, and we're doing the darker color right underneath his chin here. Okay. And there we go. A little bit of like a cute cartoony kind of dog. Last thing you want to do is just sign it. Maybe we'll go with like a pink to kind of stay in the theme here. What is my signature? Okay, there we go. Like scribble. Alright, and there we have it. There's our German Shepherd. Another thing that's cool that I like to do is you just go to the selection tool and you just say, oh, no, you don't want to do that. You want to go to, hold on, I want these to be another group. Okay. And I want to flip it horizontal. No, what's going on? Oh, this layer. Let's just do that. I want to flip horizontal. What's going on? Make sure you have the whole group selected. Flip horizontal. And there you can kind of see, when you flip an image like that, also upside down, you can do it that way, you can kind of see where your flaws are at. So like in this case, I can see that I kind of, didn't connect this part very well. And you can just see things in a different light when you put it in a different perspective. But for now, I think that's pretty good. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure to go to thedie.com and see all the other classes that we have going on this week. We have a couple Roblox game hangouts, some Minecraft hangouts weekly at 2 p.m. that we've been doing every day. We have coding classes online at 12 o'clock and 3:30 for your kids. We also have private lessons, so you can sign up and learn any topic. You can make a custom class, so your child and their friends can hang out in a Google Meet and learn something new. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope you learned something new. Hope you get to try Procreate out. Let me know if you do. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much.